Hi, we're here today with Kathy Doyle, who is president of Doyle Research. Kathy, thank you for joining us here today.
Thanks.
Give me a sense for what Doyle Research does.
Doyle Research is a qualitative market research consulting firm. We help our clients better understand their current customers, their prospective customers, all with the intent of improving the new product development process, understanding trends in their industry, and just basically helping them understand their customer.
What kind of things? How would I know that I need a qualitative research group?
Um, Well, honestly, most of our clients probably already do know that they need a qualitative research group, but it's when you need to either explain numbers that you've gotten from quantitative research. Somebody puts a page of numbers in front of you, and they end up leading you to the why question.
Okay.
Or it's when you're at the very beginning stages of new product development. They might use us for idea generation to fill the pipeline. They might use us to evaluate some potential new product concepts, prototypes, marketing communication materials. We often work in tandem with quantitative research, where we're used to come up with the response set that they're going to use in quant. And again, to answer the whys after quant has been done.
And your goal is to really help them make the right steps to grow their business and to do it with some thought.
Absolutely. People often, especially in the beginning, go with their gut. But the new product failure rate is huge. And this is a way, and very, very costly. And one of the things that people will say is, I can't afford that. Average project size for us is in the 30,000 range.
Okay.
And they'll say, I can't afford that. And I say, can you afford the cost of introducing a product and having it be a mistake? It's a small cost.
How did you get involved in this?
I started working at Ogilvy and Mather Advertising Agency in the early 80s in the market research department. Got there from school in a temp job. Was fascinated by it, ended up working for the market research director, and realized that I was very clearly a qualitative person and not a quantitative person. There really are very different personality types.
Absolutely, yeah.
Went and worked for a qualitative supplier for a few years, and then started my own company.
What differentiates you from other folks in this space? I'm assuming there's lots of other folks.
There are lots of other folks, and especially now. I've been in business for 25 years, and it was a very small group of competitors 25 years ago. It's a massive group of competitors now. There are a couple things. The first one is our size. Our size is unusual in our industry. There are either small independent firms or there are large global full-service qualitative quantitative firms. We fall in between. We're a boutique firm, and what that really means for our clients is that we are small enough that they get personalized, customized service, but we're big enough that we innovate, we collaborate together, and they get a lot of value from that.
So they have resources that they would get in some of the bigger ones, but some of the personal attention.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How is the market changing within the U.S., obviously, but everybody's going global these days. How do you take that into account?
The market is changing even more so right now in terms of qualitative methods. We've been working globally for a long time in our industry at Doyle Research as well. But what's changing even more is that qualitative research was focus groups and in-depth interviews for the first 15 of the 25 years that I've been in business, and there's been an explosion of technology, and technology has had a huge impact on our business. 40% of the work that we do now is online rather than in person.
Wow.
And in addition, social media is changing the landscape of qualitative research because social media is qualitative data. It's just on a quantitative scale.
And I'm assuming you play in that arena as well, right?
We do. Honestly, I was one of the first people, I think, that realized that social media was going to impact market research and claimed it or felt we should be claiming it as a qualitative tool. It is qualitative data, and it's essentially the world's largest focus group. And the only difference is we don't get to ask the questions, but we get to listen to what they're saying, and we get to analyze it and derive insights from it.
In fact, that's one of the things people do forget, that there are two pieces to social media: the speaking part, but the listening is probably as important, if not more.
Yeah, we're talking about social media market research and not marketing, and it's a big difference.
And the speed
and
that can happen, right?
huge, yeah. I mean, there are monitoring firms out there, but what they will give you is the sentiment, and you want to understand the meaning behind the sentiment. Why is my brand doing better than my competitors or worse than my competitors? What are people talking about in my category or my industry that I need to understand because it may be an emerging trend? These are the kinds of things you can listen for in social media. So it's just a whole new piece of the qualitative puzzle.
And you can probably catch things earlier so that they don't become, things that have gotten out of hand.
Yeah, in theory. We're using it on a per project basis now, which is how all of our work is. There are companies that monitor, and PR departments will look for the negative comments and react to them, but we're looking more broadly at, for example, one of our clients wanted to enter a new product category that they weren't in, but there were some established competitors in that industry or that arena. And so while they were in the new product development process, we went out and listened to what people were saying about their competitors, because it gave them insight into what are some of the unmet needs that we can tap into in developing our new product. So those are some of the ways that we use it. We've evaluated our clients' Facebook pages. Do you know whether the marketing that you're doing on Facebook is actually speaking well of your brand? Does it make sense for your brand? What's working and what's not? So there are a lot of ways that we can use social media.
Are there types of clients that you really love to work with more than others?
We love to work with clients who appreciate the value of research and what we can provide them. We're very passionate about what we do, and we want to be an integral part of their team. We have a lot to offer. We don't want to be order takers. We want to be part of the study design process. That's actually one of the things that differentiates us from our competitors, is our attention to study design. Research is only as good as the design. Who do you talk to? What are you talking to them about? Where are you conducting it? Is it better for you to do it in person or online, in someone's home? So all of that we like to be involved in. And so the best clients that we work with and the people who get the maximum value out of us is people who bring us in at the very beginning and say, here's my problem or my research objective. How would you recommend that we approach this given our budget, our timing, and our needs?
And I'm sure that helps in terms of making sure that they don't misinterpret whatever data they do get and make wrong decisions.
Absolutely. I mean, qualitative is more about hypotheses, developing hypotheses, and helping you narrow choices. But there's no question that if you're not talking to the right people, or your bias is involved in the listening, and that happens with our clients a lot. They will listen to something and they will hear something completely different than we will, because they'll hear what they want to hear, and we hear the big picture, and we're able to frame that for them and talk to them about what it means for them.
Great opportunity for companies to really use your services.
Absolutely,
well.
Yeah.
Kathy, I appreciate your being here today. I can tell that you're passionate about what you do. I'm sure that serves your clients superbly. So
I would hope so.
Thank you. Kathy Doyle, President of Doyle Research here in Chicagoland. Thanks for joining us here today on CEO Intronet Chicagoland TV.
Thank you, John.